dating is a fun experience. But if you haven't done the mirror work first, you haven't done the personal development work first, you're going to keep seeing the same cycle until you do the work. I'm Elitia.
And I'm Cullen, your favorite relationship coaches with over 10 years of relationship building experience. Welcome to our YouTube channel. Today we're going to be talking about dating the same person in a different body.
Today's topic is important because you might be feeling like I keep attracting the same person, just different bodies, different area codes, even if you date long distance. And one of the things that we found in doing this work is oftentimes people are confused about why this happens, but we know that one of the reasons it happens is you're attracting what you are.
That's right.
If you have not really taken a mirror to see, one, how you show love, which is your love style quiz. And by the way, if you haven't taken that, you could identify which love style you are and how you're showing love by taking our quiz. It only takes 60 seconds.
Right.
So that's one place to know, wait, how am I showing love? Because I'm going to really attract what I am. And so another thing you could also think about is once you figure out how you're expressing love, now you have to do an audit. Are you ready for a relationship? Listen, dating is a fun experience, but if you haven't done the mirror work first, you haven't done the personal development work first, you're going to keep seeing the same cycle until you do the work.
The reason why people ask, do you attract who you are, is because some people have tried to turn it into a pseudo form of psychology or whatever. But my wife and I did our own research, and we've been doing this over 15 years, and I can honestly tell you, we have seen for ourselves the truth in attracting who you are, attracting like energy. That I can tell you, I rest my whole reputation on the fact that this is an actual thing and not a pseudoscience.
Of doing this research with over 100 active daters, one of the things that we found is that they aren't aware of what they're giving off energetically, and so it's a blind spot for them. And they don't realize that if I'm emitting a certain type of energy, the people that I'm around will be drawn to that, right? If they resonate with it. So one of the things that we help them with is first seeing how you show up. What energy are you giving off? Because people are going to be attracted to what you emit.
Right. Often the reason why this falls in people's blind spots is because it's operating in your subconscious. Mm-hmm. Your subconscious is running things, I think it said 95% of the time. So it's real easy for this thing to happen and be just like a habit
on autopilot.
On autopilot. I want to ask you, can you recall all the things that you did today? And you probably can't, because the subconscious is running so much stuff, you don't even have to pay attention to it anymore.
And we know the cycle often feels like, why do I keep ending up with these emotional available people? Why do I keep choosing people that can't meet my needs? And to that we say, have you done your relationship audit? Like in our book, Love Literacy, we devote a whole chapter to you finding out what's your relationship practices. How are you in relationships? Because always talking about the other person is not a great place to start with. We know it's second nature and it's automatic, but we're inviting you to internal work. If you all keep choosing people that are emotionally unavailable, if you're choosing people that can't meet your needs, you probably haven't done an audit, and you definitely probably haven't done your relationship profile. Because if they can't meet your needs, have you taken the time to sit down and figure out what you need, what's your values, what's your non-negotiables, before you say it's their fault? Because they won't be able to hit a target that you haven't set yourself.
Like I was saying, when between 1 and 7, you're just a recording.
Yeah, sponge.
You're just a sponge taking in all types of information. You're in a meditative state where your imagination just runs with stuff, but it doesn't have the ability to actually audit and filter. So if somebody says, you're awful, or you're so much, or you're too much, you're a bad kid, or you this, that, and the other, that parent or that coach or whatever may be saying it to motivate you to behave in a particular setting. But if you're between 1 and 7, you're just recording that word for word and believing exactly what they're saying to you.
And it's going to pop up later on in your dating life. You will find out, oh, I need to be performative. I need to perform a certain way to be in this type of relationship. But what's happening subconsciously is that certain type of way is programmed from all of that negative and repetitive commentary you got from people.
Yeah, and the same thing with not hearing nice things or loving things. If you never hear that you're a beautiful person, a great person, a friendly person, all these things, you're going to believe that you're not that person. You're going to feel, or if, let's say that your love language is physical touch and you never receive affection at home, that's going to be exceptionally destructive to your whole, just how you feel about yourself and your whole self-esteem.
And we know that cycle usually shows up in you really choosing what's familiar and not what's healthy.
Right.
And so if you were raised in traumatic households, in non-complimentary households, like Cullen said, if you didn't get your love language growing up, then you're going to grow up and only be attracted to people that repeat that same cycle. Right. There's hope, though. You don't have to accept that. Even though you were reared a certain way, it doesn't mean that you have to date that way. And so we know that it's going to take intentional work for you to break that. Listen, we have clients that have worked with us who, in that same example, their love language, they didn't know it then, but their love language was words of affirmation. And so they grew up girl in the home, a lot of boys really running around, and it was about toughening up because this was the only girl and a lot of boys, right? So she didn't get that you are loved the way you are, not how your hair is, not how your skin complexion is, not if you can win this prize. Instead, she grew up around a lot of competitiveness and you have to be the best at it. Performative love. And so what happened when she started to work with us, we have to first hold up that mirror and like these things are in your blind spot. So who you are dating are people that you're in competition with, and your partner has to be your safe space to land. Especially in the dating realm, you're not really that deep in, but we kept noticing that the people that she was consistently had on cycle were people that were in competition. So they were just one-upping one another instead of finding out about one another and having fun. And so that cycle, oftentimes people repeat, but it's because they have those things going on that they haven't resolved.
Here's an important thing to consider. If you grew up in dysfunction is going to feel at home for you. Unfortunately. However, you're going to have to take that in consideration, because if you're spotting that you really don't like it, but it still feels at home, and you're in there, and this is a weird dynamic. You will have to beat it by actually repetition, reminding yourself of the things that you actually want, in spite of the fact that it's real easy for you to still stay in that setting.
But you know what we do when you work with us? Your pre-work is that beliefs worksheet, because we need to uncover what's going on in your head. Because like Cullen said, repetition only works if you're talking to yourself or what you really believe in. You can't outrun your thoughts. So your first assignment with us is that beliefs worksheet. And that's where we can help you uncover, oh, these are your real thoughts. You believe love is performative. Oh, you don't believe that love is, you were born worthy of love. And so that beliefs exercise really helps you unearth where those things are rooted. And then you get to work with chiseling them out and replacing them with, like Cullen said, the repetitive, healthier practices. Because if you want to do this well and not see the same cycle, you're going to have to replace it with healthier practices. So if we've been stepping on your toes this entire episode and this feels like you, here are 4 points we need you to remember and put them into practice. Ask yourself, right? Ask yourself, do I always feel like I have to do something to be loved? Am I afraid to say what I really need because I might scare this person off? Look, and I've been single, so I got one. I don't want to say what I really need. Or if you're asking yourself, do I fall for potential instead of that partnership, instead of that match? Is chaos starting to feel like chemistry? Am I really attracted to chaos because it's what I grew up in? Those are 4 things to consider.
One of the things that someone that works with us actually introduced was just going over your timeline and just looking at your last 3 relationships. What were the common traits? What were the common conflicts? How did the relationship start? And how did it end? Now, I don't want you to just look at it from their perspective. I want you to look at it from your perspective, because you're the common denominator.
Yep.
So you have to first start there.
Yep.
Start there and look and see how you showed up consistently, and then what things that you actually saw and then actually turn a blind eye to. Please do that. This can be very, very helpful to move that needle.
The exercise Cullen just walked you through was your own personal mirror. Now, if you want expert guided and proven relationship building strategies, here are a few more ways to stop the cycle. 1, pause, take a moment to reflect before you jump into your next relationship. Listen, we don't mean too long. So as long as it takes you to journal out what just happened in that connection, that's the length. Number two, get some therapy to unpack those things. After you do that exercise that Cullen named, things are going to come up. You don't have to go through what comes up alone. Get a couple sessions, at least 3 on the books, to unpack those things that came to the surface. Number two, make sure you are doing the actual work. Get love literacy. We give you the relationship profile in the book because we want you to assess your relationship fitness. You have to audit your relationship readiness because you don't want to keep making the same trauma-informed or unhealthy mistakes over and over. You have to define your values, your needs in that profile. And then number three, build a dating plan so you're not just going with the flow and seeing what happened. We are not fans of you taking your relationship future as some guesswork. No, we want you to be very intentional and have a plan for it. And if you need more about the relationship profile or the dating plan, make sure you go watch the other episode where we dive deep into the dating plan that we recommend for you.
So what do the results look like after you've put this work in? With your newfound clarity, you start attracting the emotionally available people. But I'm going to tell you, first you have to become an emotionally available person. That's what happens, right? When you do the work, you're going behind the scenes. Let me just explain something to you. The mind works like this. If you are operating in fear and not love, your body, it's your mind's job. This is one job, to go out and find things and events or create things and events that help to support what you actually believe. That's why I always say to people, you cannot outrun your thoughts. You can't. So you're going to have to first address them and make amendments to what your true beliefs are, because these are ones that you inherited from your 7-year-old self. With these new results, you're going to feel peace, not confusion when you date. You're going to be able to say no sooner without guilt.
Dating is not a relationship, so you're supposed to be saying no really quickly. It's a short, sharp experience.
Quickly.
You don't commit. Dating is not a relationship. You say no and keep it moving.
That's right. Yeah, and you'll opt out of trying to fix people or changing yourself to fit in. None of these things are sustainable. If you get somebody to fix themselves for you, it's going to break down the road when you really, really start to be into them, and it's going to break and it's going to hurt and it's not going to be their fault.
Yeah.
And the same thing, if you pretend to be somebody that you're not, you're going to get deeper and deeper into the relationship, and it's going to hurt because the relationship will break. These things aren't sustainable. The only thing that's sustainable is you being you.
If you're ready to break the pattern and end that cycle and start dating with intention, then become a love leader with membership. In membership, we walk you through your relationship profile, that beliefs worksheet that we're going to start with. You're going to get your customized dating plan so that you can be on the road to relationship success. Real work that helps you shift the love that you say you want to match what you actually get. So join us and start dating with intention. Oh, by the way, if you need to see what we're talking about by a quick call, maybe a little peek, then make sure you book a free consultation.